All right, so you want to be a remote software engineer and you're wondering what we're looking for when we hire software engineers at Slashdev. So we get over 2,000 applicants a month. We accept less than 1% of those into our network. So when I'm interviewing an engineer, when I'm looking at an engineer's profile, what am I looking for? There's a few things. So obviously we need a strong level of English due to the clients we work with in the United States. For some developers, for certain projects, written English is more of a priority because, to be honest, as a developer, you can work heavily just based on Slack communications and not have to do as many face-to-face meetings. But for the majority of our projects in the core network, we really need a near fluent level of English where you can really function well in the job setting. Number two, I would say the software skills and the portfolio. So obviously you have to be a really good software engineer, and we have a few different ways we use to assess that. Some of the best ways are looking at the previous things you've worked on. So have you built production apps? Have you built production APIs? Are you really deeply skilled in the technology you use, whether that's Laravel, React, Node, Flutter, React Native, iOS, Android, C Sharp, whatever you're working with? We want to make sure that you're an expert at it and have built production applications where you run into some of the real challenges of building software. If you're just throwing up demo sites, you're not really building software that gets challenging. It gets more challenging when you have thousands of customer records, you have controllers handling different logic, you have migrations, you have deployments. So we really want to see that strong portfolio. And ultimately, the very best thing is working with guys and seeing what they can deliver. So number three, I would say communication and agency is really important. This is something I try to get a feel for when I'm interviewing developers. Ultimately, working together will give me the best understanding of how is your communication skills and how much do you have agency and ownership for the work that you do. So the best guys deliver early and often. They communicate quickly. They let you know about challenges. They get into the weeds. So communication is super important to being able to be a good software engineer in the network at Slashdev and succeeding in your freelance project. Number four, I would say the trust factor is very important. This is something I also try to get a feel for in the call. What's your character? What type of person are you? Are you someone that we can count on with a production database? Are you someone that we can count on when we have a deadline to release something? Are you someone, as a developer on a freelance project, many projects, you're going to be the lead engineer. You might be the only guy on the project or one other engineer, a founder that you're working with. So you need to be able to have access to the deployment, have access to the production database, and really have that trust factor. This is something that we value a lot when we build that trust with an engineer. It helps to make all projects go so much smoother once you have that trust factor. And finally, I would say something that I really look for is these problem solvers, these individuals who have no limits on what they're willing to jump into. So I want to see an engineer who isn't saying, oh, I've never done this before. I don't know if I can do it. I want an engineer who says, oh, you want me to spin out this part of the application as a mobile app? Yeah, let me take a look at that and let you know how long it's going to take. Today with LLMs, it's faster than ever to get into a different technology stack. The syntax of the programming language is not going to hold you back anymore. It's just your raw understanding, programming, and ability to dive into new problems and to solve it. It's really just often a question of your mental brain power sitting there, solving the problems along with the LLMs and moving the app forward, understanding the high level architecture and building things in a good way. I really value when I have engineers that I can throw something to them and they're going to figure it out, but they're also going to test it. They're not going to build something as it was said to be built, but when there's a div that is misplaced or there's a button that doesn't work properly, they're going to fix it already. That really makes an engineer stand out when they are actively testing their features as they build. So that problem solver, that proactive individual. So yeah, these are some of the main things I look for. I want to see strong English skill, really strong portfolio, software engineering skill, strong communication, someone that I can trust, and someone who's a problem solver that I feel I can throw really complex challenges and they're going to solve it at a higher clip than nearly anyone else I can throw that problem to. So if you want to get into software engineering, you want to work as a freelance engineer, these are some of the things to think about. And we're always looking for motivated people to join the network as Slashdev. We have more opportunities than we can handle, where we need really good guys who have high agency and a desire to really do great work. So if you want to build some software, get in touch with us and we'll see what we can do. Thanks. Cheers.